AITA for not including my niece in my daughter's birthday since her parents can't afford it? My 31F daughter, 8F, and my niece, 8F, are born 10 days apart. Due to this, ever since they were little, my Sil, 29F, has always pushed for them to have a shared birthday party. When the girls were younger, 14, we used to do shared birthday parties. But my husband and I realized that we were always the ones to foot the bill for everything. Food, decorations, location, etc. The girls also were complete opposites. My daughter has always been more of a tomboy, while my niece is super girly. When my husband and I told Sil and my brother that we won't be doing the shared birthdays anymore, they were really upset and it started a huge fight. They said they can't afford to throw a nice birthday for my niece, but we can. Said it makes sense that we pay for it since we're family. Yeah, not gonna fly with my husband and I. So we stuck by what we said, and ever since the girls have had separate birthdays. My daughter and my husband love watching Formula 1 together, and she wanted to have a Formula 1 themed birthday this year. The weekend before the birthday, we had a family dinner at my parents' house. Sil, my brother and niece were present. My parents were asking the girls if they were excited for their upcoming birthdays, and if they were having parties this year. My daughter told my parents she is having a Formula 1 themed party this year. Sil answered for my niece and said they're not going to have a party for her because things were tight. The conversation was left there. Fast forward to this past weekend. Daughter's b-day was on Saturday. We had the party and it was going great. The whole family was invited as usual, and everyone was having a great time until the cake. I'm in the kitchen with my mom, Sil, and a few other family friends talking. I pull the cake out to get it ready to bring out for everyone. Sil takes a look at the cake and looks confused. Sil, is this the girl's birthday cake? Quote, me. What do you mean, the girl's? The cake is for daughter's name. Sil, well, I thought since I mentioned that things are tight this year, that you'd include niece's name in the birthday? Quote, me. I understand your situation, but how come you never once mentioned this to me? Quote, Sil, well, I thought it would be common sense. Now my daughter isn't going to have any kind of celebration for her birthday this year because you and you husband are so selfish. She then stormed out of the kitchen, made a huge scene at the party outside, yelling to her husband and my niece that it's time to go, and left. Since then she's been messaging me and my husband non-stop, trying to make us feel guilty that my niece isn't going to have a birthday party, and calling us all kinds of names. I feel bad that my niece isn't going to get a birthday party. AITA for not including her even though they can't afford it? NTA. First of all, it's simply not your job to make sure your niece has a party. That's up to her parents. If things are tight, maybe they need to be creative, but it's still on them. Secondly, it's ridiculous for her to think that hinting around will get her daughter added to the party. If it was as important to her as she acts like it is, then she should have had a frank conversation with you and simply asked. You could have still said no, but there wouldn't have been the confusion. This is on them, not you. NTA. But I'm very confused. How much money can you possibly invest in an 8-yo birthday party? Most of my kids' birthdays have been at the park with a self-made chocolate cake, some sweets, a fruit salad, a treasure hunt, and some balloons. If you want a cool location or a VIP experience or whatever, you can spend more, obviously, but that's completely optional. Children at that age mostly want to have fun with their friends and blow their candles. When my husband and I told Sil and my brother that we won't be doing the shared birthdays anymore, they were really upset and it started a huge fight. They said they can't afford to throw a nice birthday for my niece, but we can. So it makes sense that we pay for it since we're family. Nobody likes it when the gravy train ends. NTA. It is not reasonable to expect you to be able to read minds. Specifically the mind of your assumptive and entitled Sil. As I kept reading, the entitlement just got worse. Wow. I feel for your niece. Your Sil is a real piece of work. I know you feel bad for your niece. Maybe doing something special for her apart from your daughter's birthday. Maybe a special cousin's day out in the near future? One that won't include her mother, perhaps? NTA. It's not your responsibility to host a party for your niece because her parents can't afford to. Plus the fact that your Sil expected you to include your niece then called you selfish of throwing your own daughter her birthday party. Your Sil is a joke. ETA. It's not your fault they apparently couldn't money manage enough to throw their daughter her own separate birthday party. You can feel bad, but it's their own fault and trying to blame you is childish. They don't seem like very responsible people. NTA. While your niece deserves to feel celebrated and loved, it's not your responsibility to foot the bill for her party. Having a shared birthday was fine when they were younger. But given your Sil never chipped into those, you made the decision to stop doing them. And that was your right as a parent. That doesn't give Sil the right to be entitled to your daughter's cake or party. Maybe if she didn't rely on you every year to do everything for her daughter's birthday, then she would have been more prepared and her daughter would have had the birthday Sil so desperately wants. NTA. The dollar store sells party decorations. NTA. Common sense? Common sense tells us not to assume. Your Sil and brother need to own their stuff if they need help with something. They need to ask, and to accept no as a response. NTA. How much money does an 8-yo's birthday party cost? We've always only had a few friends and their families over for a few hours in the afternoon with cake and games. We lived in an apartment, so we either did games indoors or outside on community space. Like, I'm not understanding why they can't have an inexpensive party. NTA. That's on her. If she cannot be an adult and actually use her words to say, hey, could help us out with a cake for my daughter this year, then she doesn't get to pout and throw tantrums. How come grandparents didn't offer to get a cake? More than one person here who could have helped out. Why can't there be a family dinner with another cake on niece's birthday? NTA. Your Sil and brother sound incredibly entitled. There's nothing like a bit of emotional blackmail. Your niece's birthday is not your responsibility and you shouldn't give in to her guilt trips. Stick to your guns. You've done nothing wrong. NTA. NTA. They are just using you and your money. Their child is their responsibility, including her birthday. I feel bad for your niece, but it's not on you and your husband and your daughter to give her a birthday party. You Sil was being sneaky. It's not common sense. Edit for typos. NTA. I cringe every time when people say, but we're family. NTA. She is just trying to get a free birthday party out of you. I don't know their financial situation, but she could have a birthday party for your niece. Just not at the same financial level as you. She could have easily made a box cake as a birthday cake and made a potluck type birthday for family, friends for her daughter. She just didn't want to put any effort into it and was hoping you would feel bad and allow your niece to share your daughter's birthday. Also, the kids are getting older and they are not twins. They are cousins. They need separate birthdays. NTA. Yes, your niece is family, but you're not responsible for her party. Being able to pay for something is not an obligation to pay for her party. And good for you for putting an end to being taken advantage of. NTA. You can do parties on the cheap. Especially for kids. Sil is trying put the blame on you. But there's no blame there. Tell her to piss off. NTA. You can't read minds. If she discussed with you about possibly having a second name on the cake, or something like that, then maybe you could have made something work. NTA. Sil is crazy. If she can't afford a box cake and icing and invite a couple of friends over to play, then she needs to really evaluate things. She is entitled. How messed up that she felt entitled to ruin your daughter's birthday. Sil would never enter my house again, let alone get a party paid for. That you're not at all responsible for your niece's birthday is beside the point. If she wanted you to put your niece's name on the cake too, she needed to ask. NTA. NTA. You don't need to have a ton of money to throw a kid a birthday party. Mine was a box cake and a present or two most years, and they were great birthdays. Their behavior is very selfish and I feel sorry for their kid.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.